For over a year now, we've been bombarded with experts predicting the outcome of the 2020 election. They all have special methodologies and special insights, and we all too willingly listen to their personal opinions as if it's gospel. Big media push their stories, which all seem to defy common sense and contradict our experiences. The polls, the talking heads, and political commentators flood the airwaves of Biden leading in the polls, or possibly that it's going to be a close race. We hear it so frequently that it's easy to overlook our own experience. What do you see with your own two eyes? The battleground states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Florida. Here's Donald Trump in Michigan. Here's Joe Biden in Michigan. Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden in Pennsylvania.
I told you where I was going to be traveling, and by the way, I traveled the last few days too.
Trump in Florida.
I'm going to be going.
Introduce. This is a guy that got thrown out of the military, had no job. As soon as his
Biden in Florida.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back.
Do I really need a mathematician to explain that it ain't even close? No. Big media need experts to explain why what you're seeing isn't real. They hope their experts can fool you into not believing your own eyes. For those who say, oh, but you're not accounting for some special factor that will reduce Trump's vote and increase Biden's voter turnout. I don't believe you. Let's get back to basics. Trump has a massive following of people, and that massive crowd loves him. Joe Biden does not have the same enthusiasm, and the Biden campaign has even acknowledged that. Any rational person who is honestly observing what's taking place can see that Joe Biden is senile and unable to hold office. Democrats intend to install Kamala Harris as president, and who the heck knows what Nancy Pelosi is doing with the 25th Amendment. Why all the secrecy, games, and charades? So if people can see through the weirdness that is currently the Democrat Party, who is voting for Joe Biden? Loyal registered Democrats, which is about 1/3 of voters, and those with Trump derangement syndrome, a very real thing which seems to also plague Democrats and maybe some in the middle, and never Trump Republicans, who are still bitter that Trump demolished the Republican Party and replaced it with his own. That's a very small group. Most Republicans have already licked their wounds and boarded the Trump train. So, with some exceptions, Joe's got the Democrat vote and the deranged vote. Everyone else is voting for Trump. And that makes sense and matches what we're seeing in reality. This will be a decisive victory for Trump. Democrats are threatening chaos and confusion if Biden doesn't win. It's not going to happen, folks. You know why? Because the more chaos Democrats stir up, the more support Trump gets. Their little plan to foil everything with physical violence backfired when promoting Trump's law and order message. They can't use that tactic. They can litigate. Okay, fine. They've already been litigating election cases, and they were decided by the Supreme Court with very little fanfare. It's going to be a decisive victory, and there's not a thing Democrats can do about it. Their only tactic is to get you, the American people, to doubt what you see. Don't fall for it. In October 2016, the odds in Vegas heavily favored Hillary Clinton. With Hillary as the heavy favorite, gamblers wagered on Trump, the underdog, 12% more than Hillary. And that makes sense. 12% more people were willing to take a gamble and win big if Trump wins. This year, in October 2020, gamblers are betting 2-1 on Trump. That means for every dollar bet on a Biden win, 2 are placed on Trump. Maybe everyone is just taking a risk on a 2016 repeat and a big payout. Or maybe they think Trump's going to win. This election will come and go with a decisive victory, and I'll even go so far as to say we'll have a result on Election Day. Officials have acknowledged it could take longer to count the votes. I'm not sure we'll need the extra time. Well, see for yourself. If you have questions you'd like me to ask the panel, send your comments and questions to weeklybriefing@oann.com. Remember to watch Weekly Briefing every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching.